Daniel, when you hear about the Apple results and the hardware, I don't want to call it disappointments, but shortfalls perhaps compared to what analysts were looking for, not totally surprising, but is the iPhone 15 going to make up for all of that, or is a bigger rethink necessary?
I think the results reflect the fact that the environment is challenging. Consumers face pressure from general interest rates, higher inflation, and so there are a lot of cross currents that Apple, like all other companies, cannot outrun. I think what matters, though, if we look into the back half of this year in 2024, there will be a new iPhone 15, as you mentioned, and really the bigger story is just this broadening of the growth drivers. And so if you look across services, which is healthy, wearables, I think they're continuing to innovate, iPad, Mac, those install bases along with iPhone continue to grow. So when you put all the pieces together, I think the story, there's still additional growth. I think the ecosystem is vibrant, and we continue to like the stock here.
So I want to pick up on something that Katie mentioned, which is the China operations or sales in China, which were better than what analysts were looking for, and also an increase of about 8% from the same time a year ago. There was some concern that given the slower than expected recovery in China from COVID and the lockdown there, that China would be a drag here on Apple. What is Apple doing correctly in China, and is this sustainable if the economy in China does not pick up in the latter half of this year and into next year?
I think in China, as with other markets, Apple continues to take the long view. They've been investing in the country for many years. And besides delivering great products, they've done a good job nurturing the developer ecosystem, which is vibrant there. And so that helps to attract people, that helps to retain customers, and ultimately lets them expand into new markets. I think the China smartphone market remains difficult. Apple has navigated it well. And I would expect China to improve a little bit over the next year. And so over time, China should continue to be a tailwind for Apple. But the key remains delivering great products and services, delighting customers, and really doing everything in a fun and secure way.
And Daniel, I want to zoom out a little bit because we were having this conversation with Anurag. When you think about where Apple's growth is going to come from the hardware or the services side, and looking through these numbers in just the past several quarters, where do you think that engine is?
I think it's going to come from both. If we go back a couple of decades when they introduced the iPod, they came up with a great device and, of course, the service. And really, it's this integration of hardware, software, and services that is so powerful. I think they go hand in hand in many respects. And so the key on the hardware or the product side is that they're delivering differentiated products which delight users, though the install bases of their product lines continue to grow. And so that helps to propel future growth and customer retention, and of course helps to drive services. I think the services piece, as we've been discussing, helps support gross margins, but the company does ultimately need to execute on the product cycles and grow product revenue, in my view, to help sustain growth over the medium term.
And just for more context on services, sales from services was $21.2 billion. That is a gain of 8.2%. Beating Wall Street's estimates of $20.8 billion. And Daniel, I have to ask you about artificial intelligence, because obviously it's the buzzword of this earnings season and arguably the last one as well. When you're analyzing a company such as Apple, how are you factoring in a technology as new and potentially big as artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence is a foundational technology. Apple has been investing in it for many years, and we've seen the impact, or really the benefits, of machine learning in their products for several years. We're clearly entering a new and exciting era in terms of what artificial intelligence can do and really contribute to the user experience. I think Apple will continue to invest and infuse AI across its products into its services. The key, in my view, is to harness these technologies, but do it in a way that is seamless, do it in a way that maintains user privacy and security, and really continue to strengthen the user experience by giving customers specific things that they can do with it. And so, as we've seen with the camera, as I think we're seeing with augmented reality. There's a lot that artificial intelligence can do to help drive a better customer experience, which ultimately can help Apple grow, generate significant free cash flow, which can contribute to creating additional shareholder value.